Hello guys, this is Dr. Lior Bar-El, and I promised you guys, a lot of you guys wrote to me about questioning about the version 2 of the Nintendo Switch, and I'm going to tell you that I had a lot of worries, and I pretty much had my worries validated. I contacted my buddy in Nintendo, and well, we're going to get into it right now. So we're back. So let me explain something to you. Okay, so when the first Nintendo Switch came out, let's start off with that. It had a lot of issues. A lot of people said after the update, you know, because they were combating hacking, one of the major issues were after the update that the systems were getting bricked. Now, they, of course, said, oh, you need to get a special kind of wire now all of a sudden, even though they claim it was always there, which it obviously wasn't. They were giving false impressions that you could use any type of C connector. And, of course, it didn't make a difference because people even reported bricking in the original system, even when it was on dock mode, okay, or even in their proprietary, you know, stuff that has the Nintendo seal. People still reported that the system actually got bricked. So then I told you guys, when I did the investigation for you, that based on statistics, the majority of brick systems were only on version 1. So version 1 of that means if you bought it in launch date or close to launch date, you'd be affected with that. Now, everything else that came was really the version 2, the revision 2, as I'd like to call it. So the revision 2 came from like the time of Mario Odyssey and on. Now, as I showed you guys in my previous videos way back when, that I've done everything to the system to try to brick it using every kind of wire, anything, and nothing happened. And you know, Nintendo for a while kind of owned up to it and kind of said for a limited time, hey guys, send it back, we'll give you a replacement, and that's it. And a lot of people did that. People who were fed up with Nintendo pretty much got the replacement and sold it. Some sold it online, which I told you guys not to buy online used Nintendo Switches because you won't know when, you know, what kind of system it is if it's from the launch era. And if it is, that means you have to be extra careful. And to be honest, there is no extra careful because it even got bricked during those times. So I warned you guys not to buy from online because a lot of people were selling it, but when they didn't break it, but they were just scared of it and just had enough with Nintendo, or they just, you know, that's it. Or some of them, they got the replacement, which is a refurbished one, because obviously when you send in things, a lot of people don't know that. You really don't get a brand new product for the majority of things. Anything you do, even if phones, you send it back, they send you a refurbished one, okay? So basically what happens is they cut out whatever they need to cut out, put in a new motherboard or whatever the heck they do, and that's it. It's good to go, and it's back in your hands. The point is, that was technically the revision to the version 2. Now this version 2, as my previous video told you, a lot of these sellers were lying to people, to the community, to a lot of people. Especially I went there and I couldn't believe it. I trust GameStop in my area, Forest Hills and all that, but in Brooklyn when I went there, I went to GameStop, I went to Best Buy. And like I told you, Best Buy, what was good is back in the day, they didn't pay their crew any type of commission, so you knew you had honesty. But then they started to employ the GameStop rule, which is you have to sell, and if you don't sell anything or whatever, we're going to kick you out. So they have to maintain a certain amount of sales, where it's pretty much the same thing, like you getting commission, because these guys want to keep their job. So they started to lie to people. So when I asked them questions and I told them things, they were actually saying that the controller will not have drift issues. It's a brand new screen, and even though the screen is the same screen, I don't care, you know, I told you guys it's exactly the same screen, just the calibration is different, so the colors are better, you could see better in brightness, like I told you guys in my previous video, and of course the battery is different. Now, if I were to market that, I would tell people that. But the thing is, they knew that these customers, they came to them because they said, what's the difference, and that they own it. So if I were to market it to an individual that was to walk in and, never had a Nintendo Switch, it'd be an easy thing to market. It got a better battery. It got, it's more efficient. It's the connectors and the joystick, even though it's the same damn joystick that will freaking drift because they didn't fix the drifting issues on it. It's the same stupid joystick, but they moved the receiver of it so you get better connections to the Switch with the Joy-Con, so you don't have exactly any type of issue. But if a person tells me he has already a Nintendo Switch, and like that lady did, and then she goes and tells this dude, what's the difference between that? And he tells her all of the stuff we mentioned right now, but also tells her the screen is brand new, the one that Wall Street Journal spoke about from Sharp, which obviously that's not the issue, and that the joysticks no longer have drifting issues. Right there and then you know that there's a lot of bullshit. And I went and told the lady in front of him, this is full of crap. And what they do is they use clever words like, I think it's that, I believe it's that, to cover their own butts. And then when I went and asked a person from GameStop, he told me exactly the same thing in the Brooklyn branch. And this is the problem. Now, I'm not saying all GameStops are like that, because the GameStops around my area are amazing. Even Best Buy around my area is really incredible. But it is what it is, okay? Especially in New York, that's how it is. I don't know how it is over there. So there's a lot of fake stuff going on. Now, if you remember, even YouTube reviewers were saying kind of the same crap, because I guess they, they didn't buy it or try it or anything like that. But they went and asked them, and they were saying the same thing. And two of the YouTube reviewers, when I wrote to them and I said, that's full of shit, guys, what are you doing? They took me out. They blocked me, and then they took down their video. So they obviously realized that, people are on to their, we're going to pay you money to lie to the community. This is why we opened up this channel in the first place. Anyways, so I contacted the source. My source, my buddy in Nintendo of America, and you see that everything he says came true. If you guys remember, months before, people were talking about the new WWE game that's going to be worked on. Somebody wanted to compete, whatever, and come out with a different kind of game. I told you guys that, and then it became validated like 6 or 7 months later. The reason why is because this guy is accurate. He's from Nintendo of America. He knows his deal. So I contacted him with my worry, the new Tegra chip. Now, first off, what people need to know, it is the same Tegra chip, just different. And I'm going to explain to you what. Now, first off, it runs the games exactly the same. Some of you guys might realize, and they're not going to tell you this, but you might realize a little bit of boost in long time performance, because if you realize when the Nintendo Switch gets overheated, it starts to have little slowdowns here and there. So if it's dealing with it's more energy efficient, it turns to be a little bit more cooler. Like in computers, like in anything else, if it knows how to deal properly, and my favorite is how people are like, oh, now it's going to be, you'll be able to overclock it even more. Guys, are you kidding me? I don't even recommend overclocking it. It already does the overclock directly from that, but like I told you before, it doesn't have proper cooling. It doesn't have water cooling. It doesn't have good enough cooling to sustain in that little thing an overclock. And even if it is energy efficient, if you overclock it even more, you're gonna cause heating to it. You're gonna have cracks in it, as many reported, and it's not worth it. But whatever, let them do what they gotta do. But my worry was the Tegra, the Tegra chip that now, NVIDIA is loving this, because now they get to resurrect the chip and make it. So let me explain to you first the story of that Tegra chip. That Tegra chip was available first on a bunch of, pads, like tablets and stuff like that. So what happened was a lot of people were using it, and everybody laughed that Nintendo used it, because Nintendo was extremely stupid. Because what happens is they didn't read that this chip had open doors in 360. Everywhere around it, it had open doors that any hacker could come and hack the hell out of that system. Kind of reminds me of those Dreamcast days, once they invented that CD and then the self-bootable CDs, and everybody just hacked it, and Sega Dreamcast lost a crap ton of money. And Dreamcast was an amazing system, but lost a lot of money due to being hacked. So they did the same thing. Nintendo didn't bother saying, hey, NVIDIA, can you make a new Tegra chip just geared to us, right? And that's about it. So guess what, guys? This Tegra chip is a little different, even though it's the same. It's closed. It's a special Tegra chip that was built for the Nintendo Switch that's closed, that is unhackable. Now, if you remember, I'm not going to say unhackable, because people said the same thing about the PSP when they came out with the newer PSP and the PlayStation Vita and so on and so forth. But if you guys remember what happened when that thing came to light, everybody started to desire the old PSP and the old PlayStation Vita. And this is exactly the same thing what's going on right now. So, this old Nintendo Switch, if you guys own a Nintendo Switch that is an old one, don't you dare sell it. Because that baby is going to be worth more and it'll be more capable than the other systems. Now, if let's say right now a new Nintendo Switch comes out, right? Won't you want to hack your system and actually play a lot of the homebrew games like arcade games and all these cool stuff on your Nintendo Switch and then get the other Nintendo Switch whenever the heck that comes out? Won't you want to do that? Won't you want to sell whatever physical games you happen to have and then actually get, run backup copies or something like that, or if have backup copies because they're not going to be available anymore, or so on and so forth, whatever. The point is, the old system has something that's worth more. Okay, for battery power, I told you I get 7 hours with this baby here. It's a case and it's a battery pack, and you could now there's a 10,000 one, so you could have even more hours. Are you really going to use it for 17 hours with a battery pack, the new Switch, the version 2? So what the hell is the point? Get one of these babies. 7 hours for me is more than enough. I don't even play close to 3 hours. When I go on train trips and stuff, if I go on the plane, yes, I would love to have it last a little bit longer. So maybe I would get the 10,000 pack and have it last for 10 hours and it'll be great and whatever. But the point is, okay, that's the only thing really that makes this baby shine. That and playing in the sunlight because they calibrated the screen a little bit better with the lights, and then it has a more capable screen and so on and so forth. But it's not worth a $300 price tag for you to sell the other one at $200. Very soon, most likely, this Switch, the old Switch, is going to be worth more money. It's like in the beginning when the PSP came out with the thin one, or the new PSPs came out and they had a different screen that was brighter but didn't last as long, or so on and so forth. Everybody said, "Oh, I can't wait to buy this. I can't wait to buy this." And it was higher priced than the original PSP. Then guess what happened? When they realized that thing couldn't be hacked, the old PSP started to rise. And then eBay, the black market, as I call it, but it's a good market, people started charging $100, $150 more than the original, than the new PSP. And this is going to be the same thing. And even if not, which it is going to be, but let's say even if it is not, wouldn't you rather have a more capable system? The systems run exactly the same. There's nothing different. It's not like when they came out with the 3DS and then the 3DS XL or whatever had more memory or whatever, and the XL, you had the newer version compared to the older version, and you could play certain games. Only a few games were made specifically for it that you can't play on the old one. No, it's exactly the same system, the same chip that runs exactly the same way. A little bit less heat. Big freaking whoop. Not enough for you to care. And I'm going to say this too. I would absolutely recommend to anybody who doesn't have a Nintendo Switch to get the old one if you can get it new. Again, I don't recommend people buying on the internet used ones because, again, it could be the one from the launch date, and I don't want to see you guys getting ripped off. Now, I know a lot of you guys that want to sell it are going to hate me for saying this because I'm costing you, but the truth of the matter is, maybe if you guys write it in the title, in the description, this isn't a launch date, it came out from this month to that month, that would be great. And I would say go for it, people, and look up the serial numbers and see whatever it is and make sure that's legit, and then buy it off these people. So see, I'm working with you guys too, but a lot of the people don't even want to tell you the serials number, and they're going to rip you off with the old ones, especially a lot of stores that are mom and pop shops. The first thing they did was get rid of their Nintendo Switches once it started to break. You would ask them, do you have a Nintendo Switch? And they would say, no, it's not available anymore, when they had like 30, 40 of them before. So it's kind of things like that you have to think about. So they're selling them on eBay, and they were getting rid of them, and God knows how many people got ripped off with systems that could break at any moment's notice. And I don't want to get you guys into it, but too much into it. But I spoke to him. He validated it. He went to Nintendo of Japan, and in Nintendo of Japan, they validated it to him directly. This chip is anti-hack. So it's closed. It's not like the original Tegra one that was hackable. This one is unhackable. Which I'm going to say so far. Because then afterwards, the old PSP, didn't catch that much because the new PSP then was hackable. So if they start to hack the newer one, then you're going to have the same system. But until that is happening, that Tegra chip has no exploits. Okay, so thus far that we know of. Okay, so it's up to you. Now, if you guys are itching to buy the system because you are the kind of people that play for 17 hours, so you want to get yourself a battery bank and play that, or just go naked with like 5 to 6 hours, maybe, I don't know, I'm not going to even say 7 hours, but if it's a new one, I would say probably could last close to 7 hours, so you don't have to carry any battery bank. To be honest, I like my system heavy now after I got used to it, and I have orangutan hands. But if you guys have smaller hands, you might want to just go light. If your kids, whatever, you don't want to get the light one. Your kid wants to get the big one. So yeah, that's a good way to go due to the battery consumption. You got longer, about 40% more battery life. That's cool. But I would say don't sell your old one if you have one, and just get that if you want. To everybody else who doesn't care and you own an old one, there's absolutely no reason for you to get that one. Unless you're playing in the sun all the freaking time and you need that, then go ahead and get it. Again, to each their own. What I'm saying is, based on money-wise, is it worth it, is it not? I don't think it's worth it to sell your Switch for $150 that I'm seeing it on eBay going for right now to $200. I think that's crazy. I think you should keep it and just let it go. Now, it's up to you, but that's just my point of view. I think you guys should save the money. One day that Pro is going to come out, or they're going to call it the Heavy Edition since the Light. Who knows what they're going to call it. But it's eventually going to happen, and I think you should save your money for that. We also got so many games coming out right now. So many freaking games. Why not save your money up for that? And like I said, you want to have that capability of hacking your system at some point. Okay, I didn't hack mine, but at some point, I'm going to hack mine. When the newer one comes out, the Pro or Part 2 or whatever, I'm going to get that and do a review for you on the first day, as I always promise you guys. But I can't, I'm not going to sell my old one. I still have my PSP, my PSP and PlayStation Vita. I have them both. I still have my 3DS, and I'll keep this, and I'll operate, instead of from the Vita, I'm going to put all my homebrew games, if you know what I mean, on the Nintendo Switch. And I think that'll be a great system to play, kind of that Game Park thing. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of it. The new Tegra chip is going to be closed. It is validated 100% from Nintendo of America, and my source from Nintendo of America and his source from Nintendo of Japan. All validated that it is unhackable thus far. So it's closed. So it's a different type of chip that was released, even though they're claiming it wasn't released exclusively for Nintendo. Yes, it was, because Nintendo always was concentrating on closing those things, and really nobody gives a crap about the Tegra 1. Okay, so this was made exclusively, most likely, for Nintendo, and they did that to combat hacking. Very smart. Kudos to them. And like I told you in a very past video, if you guys remember, I said they're going to tempt you with little bits and pieces, probably a little bit more memory, which didn't happen. I said probably a little bit more, what do you call it, space or whatever, but better graphics or whatever. And I said, and possibly they're going to make some changes to it, little changes. Everything that I said might be the change didn't happen, but they did make a change. The screen is calibrated better. The battery is increased, and I did say battery, actually. I did say battery. So the battery did increase. I didn't think it was going to be that much of a jump, but it is. So it is what it is, and it came true. So that's what they're doing, enticing people to jump over to this, because this is going to be, quote unquote, unhackable. Anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. As always, self-funded here, independent channel. We don't get paid here to tell you fake news like a lot of these idiots do. We here give you the truth, because guess what? We here are a community. This is the people's channel. Even though I'm doing the video, you guys are the ones validating or not validating. You guys, we're all one giant community. In the comments below, comment below, so we can help people make better informed decisions on their stuff. A lot of people come and they actually, they come here for honesty. And unfortunately, you have to sift through so much garbage of people who get paid for to tell you something is good when it is not. This is why I don't accept sponsors. A lot of you guys, I really appreciate appreciate that you told me to do certain kind of sponsors, and I love you for it, but I just can't do it because then when I was approached after I broke 5,000 on it, they told me the same kind of spiel. They said, you know, do you want to do this review? Do you want to do a review on this? I didn't want to do it because I knew they were going to try to compel me to say something is right or wrong. I have 3 jobs, thank God, you know, thank the Lord, and it permits me to do this based on your request, and we don't need anybody. We're going to validate it to each other, and we're going to see what's going on, what's real, what's not. And I do the game reviews based on your request, whatever you request the most. So if, let's say, I don't touch a certain game that nobody requested, you guys could comment down below and say what you thought of that certain game and what you think, and see if other people will comment, and we could have a great community, kind of like a giant forum on a video site that can alert people to make more informed decisions and not get ripped off like so many people. You know, I work as a big brother in Catholic Charities. A lot of these kids, we rarely got money. Today, nobody got that much money to spend around, and we can't deal with fake reviews. And I've seen so many of them crying when they bought WWE 2K18. They were all pumped up to get it, and they were crying how bad that game ran, what a pile of poop it was. And there's other games that didn't run well that they got, and it was horrible. And for them, you know, they get presents. They don't have money because they're little kids, you know, so they waste all their money. I remember I was there. I was in Nintendo begging my parents based on cover art. I remember GamePro used to make reviews and raving reviews, and I used to be like, oh my god, I gotta get this game, and it was crap. I remember when they marketed even Ninja Turtles, they marketed it like it was the arcade game, and it wasn't the arcade game at all. It wasn't until Ninja Turtles 2, and still you could pick up the Foot Clan and throw them on other people, the arcade game, whatever. But that's the whole thing behind it. We all felt ripped off, and this is the reason why I'm doing this channel, to give people the truth, and technology, and psychology, and spiritual guidance, and video games, and everything, even though this channel specializes just on Nintendo, and on top of that, how-to videos and 3D printing, and how to build stuff, and all that, and I'm doing a prize giveaway. I'm sorry that I didn't put the last episode in on Sunday, but the last episode is going to be coming out next Sunday for the how to build a gaming desk on the cheap, a gaming / post-production desk on the cheap, and I'm giving away 2 prizes that's already packed up, the Noob Saibot and the Scorpion mask, and the first winner will get to choose between the 2, the other one will get what's left. They're both really great. Keep those requests coming. Got many more prizes to come that I'm going to be doing giveaways. So definitely tune in for that. So if you like the channel, please do make this channel, this community grow by liking the video, subscribing, hitting that bell button, and most important, share. And over all of that, the most important thing is comment down below. What do you think of the new Tegra chip? What do you think about this, that it's not that they're, you know, they cut off any type of hacking capability thus far? Is it worth it to do the upgrade, yes or no? I want you guys to let me know down below. A lot of you guys did respond on the other video. I'm really happy. Drag it over to this. Let me know what you guys think. Have a good one, y'all. Take care. Bye. As always, guys, if you like what you see, self-funded here, be sure to check out all my other stuff, from mini-series to unboxings to technology, you know, and Nintendo reviews and 3D printer reviews and all that good stuff. If you like what you see, the only way you can help the channel is by liking this video, subscribing, and hitting that bell button. As many more cool videos to come. Definitely want you guys in it, and I want you guys to be vocal. Definitely comment down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Have a good one, y'all. Take care. Bye.